Oh, I don't.
Ah, there you are. Where were you? I hope I'm live. Let me know in the chat if you can see me and hear me. Hello, welcome to Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel. There was a little glitch there just at 7:30, so I am hoping that you can actually see me. My screen says thanks for tuning in. Stream ended 2 minutes ago and there's only one person in the chat. Okay, well, let's have a look here now. Okay, let me have a look. Close that. Yes, yes, we can see and hear you. Okay, right. But I think I've lost the live chat, so I'm going to have to do something here now. If you'll just bear with me a second. Again, I apologize for this. There has been a, what do they call it? A ghost in the works, is that correct? So let me just do this. Live chat. Now I can see you. Good. Okay. Pop out chat. I'm going to copy and paste something. This is all very technical, folks. View. I'm going to call it chat. This is what I normally have to go through before you see me. And go paste that in there. Apply. And now I can see you. Live chat has come back on now. That's very good. Okay. And it's come back on for me as well. So we are all good to go. Sorry about that, folks. Somebody said, actually, it's snow on the line. It could well be. It's very, very, very cold here. It's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1 degree below freezing, isn't it, I believe? So, yeah. That's kind of thrown me a little bit. Sorry about that. So what have we got coming up? We have got coming up, of course, This Day in Elvis History, live interactive poll. I wish Elvis had recorded. Photoshop of the week, a smoking hot photograph. You're going to love that. Love that. Jack says, here we are. Yeah, Jack, I don't know what it was. It was some sort of glitch or ghost in the works or gremlin or whatever you want to call it. And I couldn't see or hear anything, and you probably couldn't hear me. So, yeah. Kyle says -3 here in Scotland. Helen Bossa Nova, hi. Yeah, video and audio cutting out, Steve. Okay. Can anybody tell me now, is the video and audio okay? Because I actually have, let me see what I have. I have an excellent connection. My meters are showing that I'm right where I should be, just between the yellow and the red. So it's perfect here, Steve. It's fine for me. Video, audio, A-OK. It's all fine here. Dave, I think you have a problem your end. Right, thanks to Ludane for stepping in and doing the moderation, as Dave does and as Maxine does. They help me out on the quiz. So, yeah, I've got... if Norsette is watching this either live or if she's watching it on playback, your prize is on the way, Norsette. I got a notification by email that your Elvis Blue Hawaii 4K Ultra and Blu-ray is on its way to you. It's winging its way to you. So yeah, everybody is saying that they can hear me fine. So sorry, Dave, it might be your end. It's good on my end now, Steve, but I just lost audio. Okay, that's all right. No problem, Dave. Right, yeah. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can email me on elvistheultimatefanchannel@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, and all that. We'll be turning on the phone lines after the topic, in case you want to speak to me about anything. Well, I wanted to actually backtrack a little bit from last week. I'd also like to thank everybody for the kind messages and emails and show of support, and anybody that bought me coffee, which sort of goes towards the running of this channel. Speaking of kind messages and so forth, I received an email the other day from a lady called Linda. Hi, Linda. Thank you very much. She says, "Hi Steve, I just wanted to let you know that Austin Butler won the People's Choice Award for the Drama Movie Star of 2022. I am so happy for him. It also means Elvis himself wins along with Austin." Yes, of course it does. Yeah, they both certainly deserve it. So thanks for giving me that little bit of information, Linda. And as I say, thank you very, very much again for your support. And if there's anything at all you want to contact me about, then the contact details are on the screen now. And so we're going to do the quiz. No, we're not. I said I was going to backtrack, didn't I? I wanted to do a few comments about last week's live. Do you remember last week's live was on the subject of Dee and Vernon and Elvis? And did Vernon getting married to Dee in July 1960, did it damage Elvis's and Vernon's relationship? And people commented on the video on playback when they watched it during the week. And here are some of the fans' comments. Elvis could never forgive his father for marrying that horrible woman. Oh dear, we haven't started off too good here, have we? She wanted Elvis, not Vernon, but it was her only way to live near him was to marry Vernon. Anula says, "I have so many mixed feelings here, but do believe bringing everyone, Dee and family, under one roof was not wise. Yeah, I am reluctant about reading any book about Elvis. Poor man was never allowed any privacy." DM says, "This is just my personal opinion, but whenever I've heard the Stanley Boys give interviews, I do not feel like they are genuine. Dee was on a talk show many years ago, and my first impression of her was she was just with Vernon for fame and money. It might have been the Geraldo show. Joe was on it as well, and every time she spoke, she argued with him, even though it wasn't necessarily about her or about her." Yeah. Okay. Miranda says, "Dee decided to marry Vernon to be close to the celebrity status and around Elvis. I do not think that she developed true feelings towards Vernon by way this relation developed. I do not mean anything bad by that." 5107 Lois says, "I believe Elvis's relationship with his dad was a bit strained after Vernon's marriage to Dee." Yeah, well, I can see why. Yeah. AW says, "By listening to this woman Dee from past interviews, she is untrustworthy and manipulative. I am glad Elvis didn't let her get away with her devious schemes. Amen." Amy Ong, hi Amy, says, "Elvis proved his generous heart again as he reached out to his stepbrothers in spite of everything." That was obviously Dee's boys. AS says, "I think Elvis could read people very well, and I think he knew Dee was a controlling person intent on wanting to be the boss and get Vernon, and so she thought Elvis under her thumb. If it is true, Elvis had her use the front door. Remember that story I told you last week? It was to tell her that she had zero clout and zero control." He goes on to say, AS goes on to say, "I don't think it changed Elvis and his father Vernon's relationship. I think Elvis simply did not like Dee, and it took Elvis time to view his father as a person per se and not his father. I think Elvis was deeply hurt his father married so soon after Gladys' passing, and Elvis was angry Vernon allowed Dee to change things in Graceland. I think things were strained between Elvis and Vernon for a while, but I think through private conversations and time together, they talked things out and came to a mutual understanding and continued on their unconditional love for one another." Great comment. As for Dee, she knew she would never rule the roost and was mean and cruel to Elvis, and then after he passed away, the garbage she wrote and said because she knew Elvis did not respect her and never would, and she lost the game she was playing for power, control, money and fame. And Merker says, Joe Smith says that Dee was a good woman. Okay, we'll end on that. Not really good there in favour of Dee, was it, those comments? But that's the way I read the comments. I was looking for good comments about Dee, and really I only found that one that Merker said at the end. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of backtrack and sort of fill in a little of the blanks from last week's live show and Dee and Vernon and Elvis's relationship. We're going to do the quiz, and I wanted you to know that you can win a copy of this, which is Destined to Fly, the story of pilot Ron Strauss from Iowa to Elvis by Sally Hodel. Sally did the Destined to Die Young book as well, and that's her follow-up. So whoever wins this month's Fan of the Month quiz gets, I think it gets a signed copy. I think if I ask Sally, she will sign it to the winner, and it'll be flying your way. Coming up is the poll as well, a good one. It's a song that Elvis sang all the way through, well, not all the way through his career, but once he'd recorded it, he kept singing it through his career. We've got Photoshop. Yeah, you love those. I Wish Elvis Had Recorded. That's a good one. It's a really good one. And it's topical as well, and I'll tell you more about that as we go along. And a smoking hot photograph. I did a smoking hot photograph last week, and I'm going to do another one. So you're in for a treat, ladies. And as I say, we are going to do the quiz. A reminder that if you select live chat and then live chat again, not live chat and top chat, by clicking on those little sliders you see by that red arrow, you will see all the comments, and you do need to see all the comments to make sure that you agree who gets the question right first. And also another reminder, if you want to go to my homepage and click on playlists and then click on the one that says interviews with people from the Elvis world, you'll be able to catch up on all the interviews I've done with people from the Elvis world. Right, so there we have it. Let's do the quiz. General knowledge. Standby moderators to help me out on this. And as I say, if you want a copy of that Destined to Fly, then try and answer as many of these questions correct as you can. That glitch at the start has really thrown me. I don't know I don't know what it was, but it has anyway. It's really, really thrown me. I don't know what it was. As I say, it could be snow on the line. And it's going to get a lot colder over here, folks, as well. If you're in Ireland or you're in England, then this following week is going to get even colder. Right. Let's have a look. Are we ready? Yes. Jack says, buckle up, Salam. Yeah, buckle up is right. 6 questions. And question number 1 is, what was the name of Elvis's pet chimpanzee? I've dropped my pen, folks. It's going to be one of those days, I think, isn't it? It's just, from the beginning, that little glitch has really thrown me. Okay. Yeah, an easy one to start with. Oh, I've got a new jingle for when people get the question right. Okay, so Dave is saying Norset got in first. Anybody else like to tell me who was first? Maxine says Elvis, says Norset. I don't know whether I missed Lou Dane or not. Elvis A says Charlie Hodge. I like it. I really like it. Okay, I need a bit of a laugh to settle down because my nerves are a little bit rattled after that shaky start to the show. Right, here we go. Dylan says, I think I got in first. I'll check, Dylan, but my moderators are telling me no set, and I hope you've selected live chat. Kirsty says, Charlie, good one. Yeah, it was. Right, here is the new jingle for no set.
Oh, I don't know what makes them think that. This gold belt and
We all know what that's from. We do. We really do know what that's from. The great press conference just before Madison Square Garden, was it? And he just looked absolutely fantastic. And he just rocked that press conference, didn't he? He was just on top form. Ed says, right on, Steve, love it. Yeah, I know. I'm going to play it again.
Oh, I don't know what makes them think that. This gold belt and
the reporter had said, is it true that you're just a shy, humble country boy? Yeah. So, yeah, beautiful suit as well. He just looked great. I like the way, if you watch the complete and unedited press conference, I like the way they bring out Vernon Presley, and everybody thinks, what's going on? This isn't the Presley that we expected to see. And then the fella says, and Mr. Vernon Presley has a friend with him. And then Elvis comes out and says, you want me to sit down? Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, I plead innocent of all charges. Yeah. Yeah, he just, it's about a 10, 11 minute interview, and it's just great. Colonel Parker brings it to a close. I'd like to keep up my reputation of being a nice guy. Okay, and that's it, folks. So, yeah. I take vitamin E, yeah. That's another line he says. I might fish that out for the jingle for getting the question right as well. Actually, there's a lot of good parts in that interview which I could use, couldn't I? Right, here we go. Oh, I love this question. When I thought of this question the other day, I thought, oh, this is just a great question. It really is. And I'm wondering how many people this will trip up. You can see by the look on my face that I just love doing this show, and I love doing these quizzes. I love thinking of the questions for you. Here we go. What was the name of the gate guard at Graceland who shared his name with a silent movie star? What do you think of that for a question? I'm going to have a drink, folks. Even Elvis behind me is smiling. Correct. Yeah. Somebody said Buster Keaton. Dylan. I like it. I like it. Uncle Vester. No, he didn't share. I don't know any silent movie stars that were called Vester. Okay. Oh my goodness. Norset, you are rocking it again by the looks of it. Travis Smith. I don't know anybody called Travis Smith that was a silent movie star. Charlie Chaplin. People, you're just guessing now. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Okay, right. So I've got Dave saying Norset. And it was Harold Lloyd, yes. Harold Lloyd was the name of the gate guard. And also, as maybe you don't know, but there was a silent movie star called Harold Lloyd. So Norset, you get this again.
Oh, I don't know what makes them think that. This gold belt and
And that actually, thanks Maxine, that actually tripped quite a few people up. Stan Laurel. Yeah, you can see Stan Laurel doing this at the gate, can't you? Norset says, I love old Hollywood. Grew up watching the 20s, 30s and 40s movies. Yeah, well, believe it or not, it's a bit of a passion of mine as well, the silent movie era. And going back to the late 1970s, maybe very early 80s, maybe 1980s, there was a 13-part series on television called Hollywood. And it was all about the silent era of Hollywood. And I just found it fascinating. And they tried to release it on VHS, and then it had to be pulled because there was all a load of copyright and because so many artists were involved. And then the DVD tried to come out, and then again that was pulled. But you can get it now on YouTube. All but one. I think there's one episode that you can't get. There was 13 episodes, and you can get 12 episodes. So Norset had Lloyd, Bossa Nova had Harold Lloyd. Is that correct? Is that correct? If I go back and have a look, and And if that's the case, what I'm going to do, right, is I am going to... Oh, she did. She just put Lloyd. So I'm going to put Bossa Nova and Norset in there, if that's okay. So one each to Bossa Nova and Norset. Okay. Next one is... Who sings harmony vocal on the Elvis's Backtrack, I Will Be Home Again? Again, I think this is a very easy one. Probably as easy as Scatter. I just need to know who gets it first. Helen says, that's fair, Steve. Yeah, if there's any sort of query, sometimes what I do is I just put both people in. Red West, no. It wasn't Red West. No. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Charlie Hodges there, and that is the correct answer. Charlie Hodge, I Will Be Home Again. And Dave is saying that Dylan got in first. Congratulations, Dylan. I just need to look to see your second name, Dylan Bowen. Congratulations, Dylan. Well done. You get this.
Oh, I don't know what makes them think that. There's a gold belt and
You've stopped Norset in her tracks. I thought Norset was going to get a hat trick there, which is football parlance for 3. Don't mention the football. And Tracy says Charlie Scatterhodge. Yes. Okay. I've been thinking, and I'm going to think a lot more about this as well, that maybe I can do a quiz where not just the internet speed, it doesn't just rely on internet speed and maybe typing speed and things like that, because I know that some people do have slow internet, and they're obviously at a disadvantage. Helen says, look forward to the Euros. Yes, that's right. That's all we can do now. Very human in the press conference and cool from his dad to make him feel at ease. Yeah. And Vernon does say a few things during that press conference when he's asked, I think. I think it might be the platform we are using. Yeah, Tracy, it could be. I don't know. But I was thinking of maybe doing a quiz once or twice, maybe, where it doesn't actually rely on internet speed. I was going to... Dylan says I was going to put Cheryl, but when you said 60s, that's when I knew it was Charlie. Yeah, Charlie Hodge. Okay. And keeping on the theme of Elvis is Back, what was the final track on the original release of Elvis is Back? Can anybody remember what that final track was on Elvis is Back? Okay, I'm seeing a couple of right answers. Make Me Know It. No, it wasn't. Actually, Make Me Know It is track number 1, believe it or not, Banjo Paul. Dylan, you've been stumped this time. You put Soldier Boy, but you have put a question mark. I'm seeing... Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is, and then you can... the mods can tell me who was first. Norset is going... She doesn't know. Stumped you, Norset. Okay. It was Reconsider Baby, and I saw Ed Kaiser first, and Maxine is agreeing with me. It's Now or Never. Actually, Norset wasn't actually on Elvis's Back. John Rowley, well done, John. Timothy Lee is saying Reconsider Baby. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Ed. Well done, Ed. Ed Kaiser with the typo, then Jack. Okay, let's have a look at the typo. Reconsider Baby. Okay, so 1 to Jack and 1 to Ed. That kind of it makes it a little bit more interesting sometimes when I have to give it to 2. When I give it to Norset 45 and Bossa Nova, and in this case Ed Kaiser and Jack Mullins, because the more people in the pot, then the more interesting it is who's going to win at the end of the month. Ed and Jack.
Oh, I don't know what makes them think that. There's gold belt and
Yeah, another tie. Yes. Now we've returned to, when I give you the first letter of each word of a song title, I've done one of those again this week, and it is, stand by, what is this song title? HLACT. HLACT. And another drink because I'm very dry today. No, it's not helping me make it through the night. That wouldn't make sense. There's no N in there. Or a T. Hey, I've stumped you. I don't see any right answers coming through. Rudy Valentino. Gee, Steve, make it tough enough. Well, I see Duncan Campbell. I see Lou Dane. I see Kyle. I see Jack. So I didn't stump you. Okay. Right. I saw Duncan's name first. So let's see who gets the gold belt. Dave says Duncan. Maxine says Duncan. And Lou Dane says Duncan. So Duncan, you get the gold belt.
oh, I don't know what makes them think that. There's gold belt and
As I say, you can contact me on Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com for things like the Photoshop and I Wish Elvis Had Recorded song, and also ideas for topic ideas. And if you've got an idea how I can do a quiz, but it doesn't necessarily rely on the speed of the internet. Dylan says, is the line open? No, the lines aren't open yet. You'll see on the screen when I open the phone lines. We've got to do the topic first. And then, not including the Lifetime Achievement Award, how many Grammys did Elvis win in his lifetime? This should be fairly quick and fairly simple. Not counting. Wow. Yes, look at all those. Wow. Okay, the answer is 3. And moderators, it's up to you to pick out the bones from that to tell me who got it right first. I think I know the name, but I will just let the moderators check it. Yeah, well, Maxine, you said Dylan Bowen with 3. Arkansas says Mr. Bowen. And Lou Dane says Dylan Bowen. Dylan, well done.
oh, I don't know what makes them think that. There's gold belt and
Congratulations to everybody that got the right answer first. And well done to everybody that took part, got the questions right, but just didn't get in there quick enough, unfortunately. And as I say, I am aware that it can be down to latency and the speed of your internet and things like that. So, Anula says he should have won 103 Grammys, and I agree with you. And it's very odd as well that those 3 Grammys were all for sacred or gospel albums, songs. How Great Thou Art, He Touched Me, and then the performance of How Great Thou Art in 1974, I believe. So yeah, well done everyone. We are conscious of that internet issue, and if there's a way that we can maybe do a quiz that doesn't rely so much on the internet, we will do that. Just a wee reminder as well that I would like you to subscribe and click the bell and turn it black for all, because if you haven't subscribed yet, you cannot take part in the quizzes. So it is quite important, if you want to take part in the quizzes, that you are a subscriber. And like by giving the thumbs up, because again, that helps by showing this video to more people that might not know about this channel, but want to know about Elvis. And of course, in the long run, it helps Elvis because more people see and learn about Elvis and go out and see the movie and buy his records and things like that. And that's what this channel is all about, is keeping Elvis out there. And you can also share as well. There is a share button below the when you're watching on playback, below the video. Click it and share it, and you can share it on Facebook and things like that as well, because I often show, or I put a link in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and you can just share that through your platforms as well. This topic, I thought long and hard about it, simply because I know it can be very emotive and it can, get the emotions going about this. But basically what it is, and I'll open up the topic now, it's could Elvis have been saved? Muscle Shoals born session bassist Norbert Putnam says, "Of course, I've thought about it a lot over the years. A lot," he says, and he stresses a lot. "I was shocked when he died," Putnam reflects, "but you have to remember that we saw him in a recording environment. I've known musicians who were drunk and stoned and crazy on the road or at their houses, but when they came into the studio, they were ready for business. They all knew that it would be the recordings that would survive them all." However, Putnam points to one man who could have and should have seen the warning signs and done something about it and didn't. Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker. That's in Norbert's, his opinion. "Someone should have staged an intervention, and that someone was Tom Parker, but he didn't, and I wish I knew why," says Putnam bluntly. "But I have to add that I have a lot of respect for bodyguard Memphis Mafia member Red West. He always had Elvis's back, and I think he tried to do something." We also know that bodyguard Dave Hebler said when asked why they didn't try to save Elvis, he said, "How do you save a man from himself?" Priscilla Presley has gone down on record as saying she revealed her beliefs that it would have been impossible for anyone to have saved Elvis. She said he would just refuse to listen. People say, why didn't you do anything? Well, that's not true. People there in the inner group did, but you do not tell Elvis Presley what to do. You did not. It also begs the question, did Elvis want to be helped? And what about Vernon's role in all this? I remember when I interviewed Dave Hebler, and I said, surely Vernon knew what was going on. Surely, Vernon knew about the medication and all the prescriptions that were being written for Elvis. And Dave said, of course. Think about it. For anybody that thinks that Vernon didn't know what was going on, Vernon signed the checks. He had to sign the checks for all the medical bills, all the drugs. Drugs cost money. They cost so much per tablet, per capsule. It's, so did Vernon try to step in? Did Vernon tackle Elvis? Did Vernon get the same answer that all the other guys and gals got? It's my business. I know what I'm doing. It's none of your business. Keep out of it. Vernon should have stuck up for his son more. I heard he had the power of attorney, so he should have either said rehab or nothing. That's Maxine. What about if his mother had lived? We know that he probably would, if of anybody, he would have paid more attention to his mother. Although that being said, if we wind back a little bit, we know that that Gladys didn't like Colonel Parker, and she voiced that opinion to Elvis, but Elvis still went with Colonel Parker. In fact, I think Colonel Parker, Tom Parker, whatever you want to call him, worked on Vernon to win Gladys over. So would he have paid attention to what his mother said? If his mother had lived, and going on through the years, and her seeing Elvis having difficulty with medications and so forth, I'm sure she would have told Elvis about this. I'm sure she would have tackled Elvis, but would he have listened to his mother? A question I have surrounding August the 16th. Now, I don't mean, when I say could Elvis have been saved, I don't mean could Elvis have been saved on August the 16th. I mean, could Elvis have been saved all the what led up to his death? That's what I'm really saying. Could he have been saved by taking an alternative route with his medications and with his diet and his overall sort of lifestyle? But the question I have surrounding August the 16th is, why did the ambulance take him to Baptist Memorial Hospital and not Methodist South? And if you have a look at this, which I'm going to show you now, there is the route from Graceland to Baptist Memorial Hospital. Now, I know Baptist Memorial Hospital has been pulled down, and something else, a new building, a new hospital, I believe, has been built on the site. But that's Baptist Memorial Hospital in the 70s. And as I'll show you that again, it's a 15 or 16 minute drive from Graceland to Baptist Memorial Hospital. But the Mid-South hospital, okay, is, and here's the route from Graceland, and it's only approximately 4 minutes down Elvis Presley Boulevard, Highway 51. So was it a case of Dr. Nick calling the shots and telling the paramedics? We call them paramedics. I'm not sure what they're called in America. They're called EMS or emergency services or something like that. Ambulance drivers. Did he specify to them when he jumped in the back of the ambulance, take him to Baptist Memorial Hospital, even though the Mid-South was just 4 minutes away down Elvis Presley Boulevard? Now, that's another thing that's puzzled me. But I'm not saying that I thought if he'd have gone to the Mid-South, he would have been saved. Because, in my opinion, I don't think that Elvis was... He wasn't savable. He'd been dead too long. Because when Ginger found him at approximately 2:30, I think that Elvis had actually been dead for a good few hours. I'm sorry if this is upsetting a lot of people. I know it probably is, but we have to sort of face this as well. I think that he was unsavable. He was long gone by the time Ginger found him. So again, for anybody that sort of says, oh, if Ginger had been awake and if Ginger had, it doesn't matter, because there was no saving Elvis Presley. He was meant to pass on that day. It was his time. I've said this to Arkansas Dave a few times actually in conversations. It was Elvis's time. But when I say, do we think Elvis could have been saved? Do we think Elvis could have been saved prior to August the 16th in his lifestyle, the medications, his diet, and so forth? But that was just a little thing that when I was researching this week, I came across, as I say, the Mid-South Hospital, 4 minutes away, Baptist Memorial, 15 or 16 minutes away. Why didn't we hear him collapse? Well, one of the maids said that they did hear something, a noise or something from above, but that could have been, they just thought it was probably Elvis or Ginger moving around, and they pinpointed it around about 10 a.m.-ish. Don't quote me on that. Eric says he was with the Lord long before Ginger found him. Yes, that's the point I'm making. So if you're watching this video on catch up, what I'm really going to say to you is I would really, really love to read and see your comments in the comment section below. So if you, as I say, if you're watching this on catch up, you can leave your comments below, and I would be very, very interested. And if there's some really, really good ones and sort of intelligent ones, I could well end up reading them out next week, as I did with the D comments in this show. So that's my sort of take on the matter. Could Elvis have been saved prior to August the 16th? Not could Elvis have been saved on August the 16th, because no, I don't think anybody could have saved him on that day. It was his time. I'm going to do the poll, and I'm going to have to type it out as I ask the question, because of that little glitch at the start of the show, it's lost it. So which is your favorite which, I won't say the title yet, because I don't want you to get ahead. Which is your preferred and what did I say? Oh yes, studio version. Then I've got 1970. That's the way it is. I'm sure you're going to be interested to know what song it is. Then I picked 19. And the last option I picked was, oh yes, 1970. Aloha from Hawaii. Okay, now this is the I see I've got a spelling mistake there. Okay, so this is the poll. Which is your preferred Suspicious Minds? 1969 studio version, 1970 That's the Way It Is, 1972 Madison Square Garden, or 1973 Aloha from Hawaii. So let's have a look. You can vote on that, and you can vote on it until near the end of the show. If you're watching on playback, then you won't be able to vote and you won't be able to see it. But I will tell you near the end what won. So listen out for that. So which is your preferred Suspicious Minds? 1969 studio version, 1970 That's the Way It Is, 1972 Madison Square Garden, 1973 Aloha from Hawaii. And I can see the votes are already coming in. Now, this emotive subject that I opened a can of worms about, let me, where is it now? There you go. Phone in now. Turn off that so you can actually ring in if you wish. Okay. Hello. Oh, it actually helps if I actually push the button. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Well, Maxine, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Apart from the little glitch at the start, I don't know whether anybody could see me. What could you see before I came on?
It was literally just a black screen.
Yeah,
so
well,
I refreshed it.
you see, if it had been a white screen, I could have said, well, it was snow. But a black screen, a power failure, I don't know. So, what do you think?
I think he could have been saved if the right people were involved.
Right.
And Colonel Parker wasn't around.
Okay, who do you think the right people could have been involved? Do you think Priscilla could have done it? Because Priscilla said that he just wouldn't listen.
Not her. No, I don't. as harsh as that sounds, I don't think she could have done anything for him. But I remember Vernon saying that Linda gave him, I think it was 4 or 5 extra years. But if she'd have stayed with him, then I think she could have possibly helped.
Mm. So you think maybe Linda? I mean,
Yeah.
do you think that Linda might have tackled him about the drugs, or did she just keep it to herself because she saw the reaction that other people got when they mentioned it?
I think behind closed doors she would have tried tackling it and talking to him about it.
Mm.
But I think she keeps that part private.
Yeah, and do you think maybe that's why they drifted apart, was because she mentioned the medications, the prescription drugs, right?
It could have been very well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and do you find it puzzling that they went to the Baptist Memorial Hospital instead of the?
I do.
Yeah.
Because it'd have made more sense to have gone to Methodist South rather than driving 15 minutes down the road, and yet the other one's like 4 minutes away.
Do you think that? I think, as far as I remember, Dr. Nick was sort of quite close knit with the Baptist Memorial. You know, maybe he was just. And maybe he thought the care might have been better at Baptist Memorial. I don't know, and then again, that begs another question: did he already realize that Elvis was dead? Although he'd only just sort of jumped on board. He wasn't in the bathroom. He hadn't seen what Joe saw or Al Strada. So it just puzzled me. I don't know why.
No, I agree. But when you said earlier about someone hearing the thud upstairs, if someone actually went up and saw that or checked on him, see what it was, something could have been done earlier.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly, if they'd known what that thump was at 10 a.m., then yes.
Yeah.
And I think I remember hearing as well, I think I read in the Alana Nash book, you know, the Revelations of a Memphis Mafia.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading that Billy said that he was halfway up the stairs during that morning and then thought, no, heck, let him rest. He needs it. And he turned round and went back down. And he's forever beating himself up about that. And Dr. Nick said, no, don't, because nobody could have saved him, you know. Yeah.
Him saying that, though, you just don't know. Because if you'd have gone up there and done it as quickly, if it only literally just happened, there would have been a little bit of a chance. Would you rather try than not try and save someone?
Yeah. It's something we'll never know now, unfortunately, because
I know.
Yeah. Okay, Maxine, thanks as always.
That's all right. Thanks, Steve.
Cheers. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, that just came to me actually about Billy saying that he was halfway up the staircase to go and see Elvis about something or just to check on him or something like that, and he decided against it. And I think it was the Revelations of a Memphis Mafia that I read it in. But Billy shouldn't beat himself up, because how could he have known? He just couldn't. Hello.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Hey, Salam, how are you doing?
Doing well. Very sad topic today.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about it before I decided to do it, but it's something that I felt we had to address. You know, could Elvis have been saved if he'd have turned his life around, say, in the mid-60s or early 70s?
I think his life could have been saved. I think I just think it needed a really strong person. And he had a lot of people that were dependent on him. And it's like, don't poke the bear, right? Like, don't poke the money-making bear. Because when Elvis would get poked, he wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
I always think of Walk the Line, the movie. I don't know if it's true, but they show scenes of June kind of forcing Johnny Cash into like detox.
Mm-hmm.
And she had the help of her parents, and they kind of helped him out that way. So I feel like if he had someone strong enough, and if the Colonel wasn't around, I think also the Colonel had a lot to do with it, and Dr. Nick. So if they could, so like what June Carter did in the movie, she takes Johnny Cash away from all his suppliers and all these people so that she could detox him. So that's what Elvis needed. He needed to be taken away from the Colonel, from Dr. Nick, from all of this. Like, I feel like that's what he needed. And that needs a strong person that he loved and respected and admired. I don't know if he loved and respected or admired anyone around him enough to listen to them.
Well, I mean, we have the scene in the Baz Luhrmann movie, don't we? The back of the limo, where she asks him, does she even say for Lisa's sake?
But I don't think he respected Priscilla by the end. Towards the end, they had their divorce. I mean, yeah, they were amicable, but I don't think she had that power. I don't think he was that enamored with her or anything. You know, I don't know. It takes someone that you really. And then, at least as a little girl, I don't think he put it. I don't think he thought he would die.
Yeah.
And then the career had a lot to do with it. So if someone could have just pulled him out of that touring funk that he was in, like he needed something, like when the 68 comeback, like he was rejuvenated after the depressing movies.
Yeah.
He was rejuvenated again. He needed that rejuvenate. And who could have done? The Colonel could have done something. His dad. If they would have changed his career up, he would have gotten in shape if he had something to look forward to.
Yeah, no, that's a question I was going to ask. Do you think his father could have done more?
I think yes. I think, but I think Elvis was too big even for his father. He was his own entity. Like, I think it was just too big for Vernon to get his hands on it. His mother maybe. Yeah. Because she was a feisty one. Yeah. So the mother maybe, but not his father. No. And if you look at his own father's life, you know, he didn't really do much in his life. Elvis was the one who did everything. He was the provider, the supporter. So I think Elvis was too big for his dad. So it's very sad.
I'm pretty sure Vernon knew what was going on, though.
Oh, 100%. But you can't poke the bear. And I think that's what killed Elvis in the end. I think he became so big, so powerful. And like, yeah, you can't save a man from himself, right? And he didn't have that strong person to whip him into shape, like June Carter did for Johnny Cash. She was not messing around, and I don't think Elvis had anybody like that around him.
The puzzling thing about the Baptist Memorial instead of Mid-South, does that any thoughts on that?
I think he was already dead. I think he was dead for a while. I think Dr. Nick knew that. Dr. Nick, he's a doctor. Yeah. He knows when rigor mortis is setting in. He knew. Yeah. So I think, and then maybe because of the fame, once word gets out that Elvis is in the hospital, people would assume maybe it was the closer one. So maybe that's a reason why they went a little further down. Yeah. But I think he knew already. I think he knew inside, like, it doesn't make a difference where we go because he had been dead for a few hours already.
And I suppose also he was thinking, well, you know, that's where Elvis always went when he was sick. It was always Baptist. It wasn't Methodist. Yeah. And Mid-South.
I think they were driving him to the embalming, not to go save him. Like, they knew they were driving a body. They're driving the body to go get cleaned up. Like, they know. I mean, even the paramedics, they know. Once they see the body, they already know. Yeah. So okay. I think that's why.
All right, Salam. It is a very emotive subject for us Elvis fans, but it's something I felt we had to address.
Yeah, I just wish someone was just there for him, and I don't know, someone strong, a strong woman, strong friend, someone just strong enough to poke that bear at any cost. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was just this grand thing that nobody could approach. I don't know, but very sad. Rest in peace, Elvis.
Yes, rest in peace, Elvis. Take care of yourself, Salam, and we'll speak again.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye. Bye. Yeah, it's quite upsetting, actually. I mean, even after all these years, you know, when you think what could have been, and if he, well, not so much if he'd have listened, but if he'd have realized himself. I mean, Dave Hebler is right in a way, isn't he, when he says, how do you save a man from himself? Yeah. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Great. What's the weather like with you? Very, very cold, I'd say.
It's very cold at the moment.
And it's going to get colder.
Yeah, surely is. There's a little bit of snow in the air as well.
Yeah. So what do you think on this subject, Mark?
Well, it's a sad one, isn't it? Yeah. I agree with you. He was definitely dead, obviously, before they got him in the ambulance. The thing about going to that hospital, I suppose, because his records were there. Remember, his nurse was there, Marion Cook, who looked after him a little bit as well. She was there when, you know, he got rushed in. So, and obviously Dr. Nick knew a lot about the hospital. So probably that was why they went there, you know, even though there was one only 4 minutes away. But I think that explains that one really.
Yeah.
I think obviously they tried to do what they could, but I think he, like you say, he probably been dead a couple of hours before he was even found.
So, but do you think Elvis could have been saved prior to August the 16th if somebody had taken more control in the 60s and 70s?
Yeah, I just think, as I said before, in the movie Colonel Parker, it was all right up to probably 70, 71. Then I think Elvis needed to get away. He needed the challenges all the time, and he did stand up to people, and he did respect people. He respected Steve Binder, the 68 Combat Special.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I like your way of doing things. We're not going to do the Christmas special. We're going to do what? Yeah, sounds great." He stood up to Marty Passetta in Live from Hawaii when he told him to his face, "You're overweight.
Yeah.
Get back and trim down. I've seen you live. You're not moving around like you used to. And he respected that. He told him to his face, didn't he?
Yeah.
You're one of the people, who's saying it's to my face, and
Was there too many yes men around Elvis?
Yeah. In the last 25 years, I've been fortunate to meet quite a lot of the Memphis Mafia, and obviously a lot of them have passed on now.
Yeah.
But the stories you hear, and there might have been the odd one, who's quite true and loyal to him, but most of them were just there for the paycheck, hangers on, and what they could get out of him. Were they concerned about his health? Were they concerned about, you look, and you got to blame the holder, really. You got to blame the Colonel, because the Colonel shouldn't have allowed him to do them last tours. He probably, 76, he's starting not to be the Elvis that we always thought he'd, be prior before the years before. And he looked tired. He looked bored. He needed a challenge, and Colonel Parker wasn't interested in that. Colonel Parker was interested in money making, wasn't it?
I mean, probably his last real challenge was Aloha from Hawaii, and a lot of people said that was the turning point in Elvis's life. After Aloha from Hawaii, it kind of it started to spiral.
There's rumours, of different things, isn't there? If he'd have got away from Parker and got himself a new manager, there was rumours that Gordon Mills was interested in managing Elvis, who was Tom Jones's manager in the England Olympic, And if somebody like that who really looks after the artist in their interests, I think, because look how well Tom Jones has done in his life.
Yeah, there was also Jerry Weintraub was mentioned as well.
Yeah, as with him as well. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he probably could have put him down the same path as Gordon Mill, but they changed with the times. Colonel weren't going to change with the times. He was stuck in Vegas.
Yeah,
and he wanted to die in Vegas, I think, and he did.
He did.
And he did. Yeah. He did, didn't he? And I think and it was the other night. I was on YouTube and I was listening to an interview from Annie Nash. Who met the Colonel on about four occasions.
Yeah.
And she was saying on the 4 occasions that she met the Colonel, she was frightened to say anything about Elvis. And he never mentioned one word about Elvis. In 4-hour conversations, all the Colonel talked about was his old Carney days.
Right.
The days of him when Hank Snow and all these kind of people. He didn't, he handled the biggest star in the world. And he just didn't want to speak about Elvis, maybe because he knew deep down he made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And may have killed him.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't put his hand up to it in the end. And I find that strange, but that's the way the Colonel was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he didn't give a lot of interviews, so,
She also said that he had a terrible temper as well, and a frightening temper.
Oh, he said, he didn't like to be manhandled. He didn't like to be touched. He didn't like the crowd around him, and I think he didn't like conversation. I don't think if we were here now with him, we'd been asking him so many questions.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't shy away.
He would control the conversation, I believe.
Yeah, he would. To me, Colonel Parker was in the right time at the right place.
Oh yeah,
in the 50s. He got the biggest star. Yeah, he helped Elvis get on TV. I don't, probably the first 10 years of Elvis's career up to the mid-60s, he did okay. But then you know, when you get from the 68 comeback until the day he died, I think he should have got ridiculed, or if he would have known how big he was in Britain, he'd have come to Great Britain and done some tours and just done some different things in his life and slowed his life down. You know, he worked so hard and he worked so hard on stage to please all his fans. And I think, like, at the end of the day, you cannot keep that pace up and not look after yourself. It's, you know, it gets you in the end, doesn't it?
It was certainly a punishing schedule, that's for sure. Let's lighten the mood a little bit. Let's ask you about the poll. Which is your preferred Suspicious Minds? 1969, 70, 72, or 73?
I would probably go really for 1970. I think it's August the 12th when he did that one from the original movie. That's why it is. I think, because I think by then he'd got the right pace of the song. I think in 1969, obviously the studio version, then he did it in 69, but he was learning it. But I think by Elvis, that's the way it is. You could see that version. It was the right tempo, the right thing for his voice. And I've always thought that was good. 72, Madison Square Garden was okay, but a little bit shorter compared to the one. And I think in 73, Hello for Why was okay, but he didn't move as he did, you know, in 70. I think he was just
he was very fit in 1970. That's for sure. Everybody says that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And you don't know, do you? You don't know. Was he getting a bit bored of that song towards the end because he was such a popular song? You just don't know, do you?
Yeah.
Again, you have to put it in your set. It's like me when I do some songs. If I don't do Suspicious Minds, there's an uproar. So you have to do it. And I suppose Elvis is in the same boat there, you know. Yeah. So
okay,
strange,
great.
Strange.
All right, Mark. Great. Thanks for your call, mate. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah. This is going to go on and on and on because everybody has a lot of their own thoughts about this. So if you are watching this on playback, please do leave your comments below about could Elvis have been saved. Now, I don't mean could Elvis have been saved on August the 16th. I think we've covered that. And most people say no, unfortunately, Elvis was long gone by the time Ginger found him. So that's not really the case, but could he have been saved prior to that by a change of lifestyle, change in career, change of management, and so forth. Don't forget, there's still time to vote on the poll. Which is your preferred Suspicious Minds? 1969 studio version, 1970 That's the Way It Is, 1972 Madison Square Garden, and 1973 Aloha from Hawaii. You can still phone in about that topic, could Elvis have been saved? But we will move on a little bit to Elvis history. And I've got some good pictures, some really, really good pictures this week. Still coming up is the Photoshop, and I wish Elvis had recorded. And the smoking hot photograph. Do you know, I don't even remember I do remember what it is. And it's a really good one. So if this is a red letter day in your life, if it's an anniversary, your birthday or whatever, and you wanted to know what Elvis was doing on December the 11th down through the years, 1954, December the 11th, Elvis performed at the Louisiana Hayride in Shreveport, and the Billboard reported that the hottest piece of merchandise on the Louisiana Hayride at the moment was Elvis Presley, the youngster with the hillbilly blues beat. I like it. 1956, Elvis ran out of gas at in his new Cadillac Seville and was mobbed by fans. This is what I love about this photograph. Just look at this. He's run out of gas in his new Cadillac Seville. Obviously, he's drawn a crowd, and he's happy about it. There's a, you know, some modern day famous people would run away as fast as they could or get another vehicle and quickly go away. But Elvis spent time with his fans signing autographs, and you can see very gracious and very happy to do it. You can just tell by the look on his face that he's very happy to do it. 1959, 1960, obviously military service in Germany. Then we've got 1961, Elvis started a 20-week run. 20-week run at the top of the Billboard album chart with Blue Hawaii, his 7th US #1 album. 1961 also Kid Galahad production, Lola Albright and Joan Blackman there in the still. And then we've got 1963, Love Me Tender was shown on US television for the first time. That was a big deal going back in the 1960s. It's not like now where a movie comes out and then 6 months later or 3 months later it's available on DVD and all this, or it's shown on the television. In the 1950s and 1960s, it could take a long time for a movie to get to the television. And on this day in 1963, Love Me Tender was shown. 1970, Elvis was host of another wedding, Dick Grob's wedding. In his house in Palm Springs, policeman Dick Grob was married. Elvis' gift to Mr. and Mrs. Grob was a new Cadillac. And we're going to see the pictures now. There's Dick and Elvis and the bride. And there's Elvis with the bride over his shoulder. And then, as I say, he gave them a new Cadillac. And I think there's a picture coming up now of Elvis giving the couple the Cadillac. Well, there's a lovely, charming picture of Elvis and the bride and a cane. And yeah, there's the Cadillac. That was on this day in 1970. 1971, Elvis's Christmas album hit number 7 in the UK. Joyce Bova was in town and went to the movies with Elvis at the Crosstown. 1973, we've got in the Stack Studios, Elvis recorded 2 songs, If You Talk in Your Sleep and You Ask Me To. They finished at 2 a.m. the following morning. 1975, Elvis performed at the Hilton Hotel, Las Vegas in the V-neck jumpsuit. And 1976, I've got pictures of this. 2 concerts, in the dinner show in the Egyptian jumpsuit and the Red Phoenix at the midnight show. Now, Elvis looks really, really tired there. You can't sort of sugarcoat it. That is the Egyptian suit, the dinner show. And he does look tired. So, yeah. I think the strain, a lovely shot there of Kathy Westmoreland. But you can't hide the fact that he was very, very tired that December of 1976. Right, I wish to do the Photoshop next, and we have Photoshop, and it's photo number 1, and this is taken backstage opening night at the International Hotel. They were filming That's the Way It Is as well. So this was filmed by MGM for That's the Way It Is, wearing a black shirt. Well, actually, it's not. This is the original shirt that Elvis was wearing. And if you look at them side by side, you can definitely see that, yes, somebody has actually photoshopped in a black shirt. I don't know why they photoshopped in a black shirt, because that shirt that he's wearing there is brilliant. One of my favorites. The thing I would say is, if I actually wore a shirt like that, I would look like a big girl's blouse. I wouldn't look as good as Elvis. I really wouldn't look as good as Elvis. But as you can see, Photoshop of the week is that one there. And if you know of a Photoshop and you know the original and then you know the actual Photoshopped photo, you can send it in to me at elvistheultimatefanchannel.com at gmail.com, and we can maybe show it on a future show. The same goes for a song I wish Elvis had recorded, and it's very topical actually, and you'll understand why in a minute. Now, this was suggested by Becky Stone. Hi, Becky, from Cardiff. I actually have a brother that lives in Cardiff. I'm sure it's fairly cold in Cardiff tonight. Thank you very much for the support, and thank you very much for sending in your suggestion of a song I wish Elvis had recorded. And as I say, if there's anybody out there now thinking, I'm going to send in this song, then please do. just send it in to me on the email or Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, anything. She went to Graceland. Becky says she went to Graceland in 2018. Thanks for your kind comments. And the song that Becky has chosen is a song by the British American rock band Fleetwood Mac. The song first appeared on the band's 1977 album. Is it this? Yes, it is. Rumours. It was the B-side to the single Dreams. It's one of the 4 songs written solely by Christine McVie on the album, and McVie frequently sang the song at the end of Fleetwood Mac concerts. Now, sadly, Christine left us only a few weeks ago. There's Christine McVie, or McVie, however you want to pronounce it. I think it's McVie, actually. McVie wrote Songbird in half an hour around midnight, but didn't have anyone around to record it. To ensure she did not forget the chord structure and melody, she remained awake the entire night. The next day, McVie played the song for producer Ken Calliet at the Sausalito record plant. Calliet loved the track and suggested she record it alone in a concert-style approach. The first venue of choice, the Berkeley Community Theatre, was unavailable, so the band instead booked the Zellerbach Auditorium for March 3rd, 1976. To create the appropriate ambience, Calliet offered a bouquet of flowers to place on McVie's piano. He then requested 3 spotlights to illuminate the flowers from above. When McVie arrived in the auditorium, the house lights were dimmed, so the attention was immediately brought to the illuminated flowers on the piano. For the recording session, 15 microphones were placed around the auditorium to capture the performance. The recording session went into the next morning due to the difficulty of recording the song in one take. Lindsey Buckingham strummed an acoustic guitar off stage to keep the tempo. Rita Coolidge covered Songbird on her 1978 album Love Me Again. The song was also covered by Eva Cassidy. Where's Eva? There's Eva. Okay. And released in 1998 on her posthumous compilation album of the same name, Songbird. Despite being released 2 years after her death from melanoma, the album eventually reached number 1 in the UK in 2001. Willie Nelson covered Songbird on his own 2006 album, Songbird, making it the second album to be named after the song. The album peaked at number 87 on the Billboard Hot 200. Now, if you're not familiar with the song, I'll put a link below, and I'm going to put a link below for both Eva Cassidy's and the Fleetwood Mac version. Okay, and you can just click on them and go to them. So that's the song of the week, and I thought it was very sort of apt and topical that we did it because Christine only passed away, sadly, a couple of weeks ago. You've been voting away on the poll, and I'm going to close the poll now and tell you what won out of 1969 version of Suspicious Minds, 1970 That's the Way It Is, 1972 Madison Square Garden, and 1973 Aloha from Hawaii. End poll. Okay, and I'm going to have a look, and it is, by a big stretch, That's the Way It Is, 59%. The studio version only got 25%. Aloha from Hawaii, wow, Aloha from Hawaii only got 9%, and Madison Square Garden 5%. Thank you very, very much for everybody that voted on that poll. I'm not sure everybody did. I would encourage you, if you get the chance next week, to vote on the poll. And I would have picked, believe it or not, I would have picked the studio version, 1969. I would have been in amongst the 25% of the voting public because I just think that the studio version is the one that I like. Now, Smoking Hot. I've kept you waiting long enough. There you go. This is the Smoking Hot photograph. And it was taken in March 1960, I think March the 7th, I believe, in Vernon's office out back of Graceland. He was being interviewed by the press, and there's an awful lot of photographs taken of Elvis at that time in Vernon's office, but that's the one I've picked. But I would definitely go to the internet, go to Google Images, and maybe select a few more. Elvis, March 1960, Vernon's office, and that'll throw them all up. And somebody says, goodness me. Norset says, oh, there he is. Kathleen says, wow. Karen says, great pick. Jill, very hot. Stunning. Yeah. And I'll have another smoking hot photograph for you next week. I think we've covered everything. I've done the smoking hot photograph. I remember I actually forgot about it one week. As soon as I ended the broadcast, I thought, smoking hot. I never did it. I've given the poll result. Yeah, we have done it. So, folks, until next week, thanks for the callers. Maxine, Salam, Mark. Don't forget, if you're watching this on playback, leave your comments about could Elvis have been saved, and I might read out your comment next week. If you do want to support the channel, you can buy me coffee by clicking on the link below. It's much appreciated. Try and keep warm, everybody. It's going to get very cold. I'm off to sit in front of a roaring fire. Oh, and I've got a little surprise for you right at the end of the outro music, so keep listening for that. Look after yourselves and take care, everybody, till next Sunday.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.